the action of Spright for you. We also have Mermails with a side of Goaty. Didn't see that one coming. And we've also got Fire King as well. Make sure you guys smash the like and crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So you wanted to see what New Era Spright actually look like. Well, I'm going to be honest with you here. You're not getting a lot out of this build. And that's okay, because that means that the old ideas of Spright are still kind of sticking around out here. And you can actually still test the waters with these builds and actually come up with a more optimized build to figure out which path you want to go down. That's good. Means that, you know, Sprite's still kind of sitting out here as a meta challenger kind of doing its thing. Now, in terms of, you know, what we got going on here, you're still doing the Melfi Caddy and the Penny in here because, you know, kind of cheesing out the Herald of Arclight is going to be very, very funny against your opponent. I also do see that we do have Malcharmies in here. Now, we're just playing the Fool Wars. We're not going Meows. We're not going with Purley. We're not doing that heavy extra stuff that a lot of these other builds felt like they were wanting to do. You're just going to be getting the natural draw string and you're good to go, which is fine. Now, you're also still doing the Nimble Angler with the Beavers, all that fun, fancy stuff that these builds were looking to do originally. Still wrapped up on a very nice bow for you here. Still doing exactly what you want this deck to be doing. And now in terms of, you know, things down here in the side deck, I do see we have the Archer Christia. Yep, that Mannequin Cat shenanigans. You've also got the Aggregator to kind of throw at your opponent if need be for cleanup because of the Ultimate Slayers. You also do see the Chaos Hunter down here as well. And of course, a nice little lump sum of Solemn Judgments to kind of lock your opponent out of the game. And no further fun be allowed to advance for that. I am fine with that, actually. Everything that this deck is doing, though, looks fun. You have a lot of the same tactics that Spright has been pulling throughout most of its life out here. And it proves that the more recent builds are able to actually function and work. All of that is good. So what else we got back here? We have some Mermail action for you. Now, in terms of what your Mermails are going to be capable of, most of this feels pretty much the same. You are going to notice that there is only a singular minstrel in here. I think a lot of the community's been back and forth on how many copies of Minstrel do you want to play. You know, what's going to be the advantage of playing, you know, Minstrel at this point. You know, are we going to get that level of advantage with the Minstrel? You know, is it worth it? And I think most players are going to agree the one of, I think, works out just fine, honestly. Now, I do like that we have this little shift in here. So we are playing a nice little level 2 fish tuner monster in here because Coelcanth goes, oh, hey, you want to bring out some friends? Okay. You know, we can actually make the Porpoise in here. You gotta be kidding me, man. Porpoise is actually seeing some frickin' play. Honestly, just the fact that, you know, getting a Deep Sea Coelcanth resolved, getting Schiff loaded up and making some synchro plays, is kind of worth it, actually. I've not seen any other Mermail players looking at playing Schiff as a tech choice. I mean, most of the builds are just going to throw as many Abyss Spikes at the opponent as they can because they're going to go, tee-hee-hee, me want to make Toad. Toad, good. Oh, yes, Bahamut into Toad. Oh, look at me, deck resolve. Ha, ha, ha. What are you going to do now? That's honestly the experience of playing this deck. You get all that resolved, well, congratulations. You know, you got everything that you really want. Also, get to play the Virtue Stream in here. That's been a pretty big one because, you know, you get to the Levature. Seems pretty good overall. You got some extra Poseidons in here. I'm actually kind of intrigued that they did go with the additional copies of Poseidra in this deck. Honestly, I think this works out just fine. You just want to make sure that you've got the extra pieces to make sure that you can get this deck rolling. Fire Kings, excuse me. So I just want to say, Fire Kings, huge fan. I love you. You guys have been a fantastic deck. Watching stick around. You guys have been doing very, very well out here. Not really, actually, this deck. I'm actually really sad. This deck has just been dead for so long. And, you know, like, even like the tier 2 spectrum out here, this deck has really been failing to kind of keep up with what's been going on. Not to say that the deck is, you know, donezo, but honestly, at this point in time, it's been a real challenge to keep this deck going. Now, obviously, with the Kashtira stuff, you actually get access to the Arsenal Falcon, and Arsenal Falcon allows you to go get our nice little legendary Fire King Ponix in here. The fact that 2 Kashtira monsters slam together to form up a nice level of consistency upgrades for this deck, I think is very, very nice. You just want to make sure that, you can keep the stream going. The deck wants to resolve, get to those key pieces, and actually roll. That's exactly what you need to be seeing out here. Now, in terms of, the rest of what this deck has to offer, I mean, there's not a lot, honestly. Most of the Fire King strategy has been pretty much settled in. I mean, you still, you're relying on the triple Kirin now because this is still going to be your biggest big swing play here. Obviously the big Garunix down here. Also, this build's only playing 1 big Garunix. I think that this is fine in itself. Even though I like big Garunix, I think big Garunix makes this deck go round. It definitely is the centerpiece of this. So, cute deck. Definitely looking very interesting to still see what choices the players are looking to bring to the table out here and how they are evolving this. Next up here, we have, holy crap, it's White Forest. Now, post-Alliance Insight, this deck evolves into a completely different creature. You get to see this deck go down a completely different path. And I think, for the intermediate build with where you're sitting right now, it's not exactly in a terrible spot. It doesn't feel what I would consider too crazy of a build. But what you are seeing in here, obviously, the Fiendsmith stuff is going to be the base to this. Obviously, being able to roll out the Desiree and all that little fun extra stuff typically, makes this thing go round. All right. And then, of course, just sticking in the 1 copy of a set. I think most players kind of agree playing the 1 a set should be fine. You don't really want to go too crazy on maximizing those numbers. You're also going to notice, yes, 1 Hollowed Azamina with 2 deceptions. 2 to 3 deceptions, I think, is fine. There can be something said if you really want to try out 1, but I feel like at that point in time, you're just hurting the consistency of the deck. And I don't really think we want to do that. We don't want to take away too much from this deck's strategy, and that really would take away from what we're trying to do here. You want to make sure that you can safely land on these 2 cards to get things going. If you take that away, well, you're going to run into consistency issues, and that's not what you want to be seeing out here. You just want this deck to be able to touch off and go. You've also got 2 Tack Talents in here for the form of interruptions. 1 Track is fine. The 1 Sinful Spoils and the 1 Tails of the White, I think, are going to be just fine. Your extra deck options look very good. And, of course, Chorozo actually getting a spot down here in the extra deck is all fine and dandy. So, and also, hey, another showcase out here to good old Abao showing up and doing exactly what she needs to do. And our last list here is some Chimera Illusion. Now, I'm going to tell you straight up, man. I had totally forgotten that this deck existed for a while now. Like, it's not that this deck is bad, no, but it's just one of those situations that you're like, holy crap, Chimera is still a viable deck. People are still looking to play this. Yes, they are actually. Players want to actually challenge the meta with what they can out here and see what they can do. Obviously, this is going to be another deck that's going to seed in the Fiendsmith package. You absolutely have no reason not to. And also the fact that you do get the natural born access to the Adjusted Gold. The Adjusted Gold basically creates full Fiendsmith combo for itself out here, so you can kind of do things. Now, you're also going to notice we got some real strong board breakers in here. You got the Book of Eclipses, you got the Super Polys in here. Your job is to board break through your opponent and start clearing your opponent's board the best way possible. And I mean, you've got an armament of fusions down here to do your thing. Well, Dimensional Barrier is still an insane card. It's kind of lost a little bit of its power out here to kind of time just to see what it can do. So, very, very cute for what we've got available in the course of the meta out here. I think Chimera Fiendsmith, you got to work very hard for your wins with this deck. It's not a bad deck, but it's more rogue than it really should be. So what do you guys think about all these cool, awesome decks kind of stepping on out here? and actually trying to challenge the meta. Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. You guys stay safe out there, alright? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.